out how to get their six-pack.
Yeah.
Why can't I get my six-pack? Well, shoot, they spend most of the day without their ab muscles even being turned on.
Yeah.
And unless they pull the pelvis out and stretch the low back, these muscles are never going to be long enough to actually get a six-pack. And it's very funny, at age 50, I have a six-pack now. I never had when I was a teenager. I'm actually faster now at 50 than I was before all my injuries when I was 18.
Yeah, that's
incredible. It just shows you how amazing the new techniques are. Yeah. Okay, so most people start out again, like we talked about, the pelvis tips forward. So they've gone from proper position to back. So this is sticking out. Their low back is really super tight. Shoulders are dropped forward, and their belly's just sticking out. And they've got this really hard belly that they've never been able to lose. They can't figure out why they can't lose that belly. It's literally their spine pushing their intestines out. You know, that's not belly. Okay, so what we do is we take the pelvis and we tip it back until the legs bend and the legs turn on. We do the crunch over the top and raise the shoulders. Drop the shoulders into place, drop that under, and you go from fat to six-pack abs. And it's as easy as that. And I tell you what, this protection is what protects your low back. 80% of Americans are going to end up with chronic low back pain. And it doesn't have to happen. You know, my big goal is to end chronic pain in a generation. And the way to do that is to stop injuring, have people stop injuring themselves.
Yeah. It's like it creates, what is it, those gym belts you wear?
Yeah.
What are they called? The weight belts, you know, a lot of people wear that to support their guts because they don't want to do it themselves. But when you do it this way, it's like you feel that natural protection. Everything's activated. You don't need any additional support. So to demonstrate on me again, you know, like that. Versus, and then, right, and then you crunch it all the way up. And then,
the crunch goes this way. Crunch goes this way. Yeah. And the shoulders just drop to the outside. And then it goes up. Yeah, you don't need to go back into the position where before. This literally drops up and in as the shoulders come forward. Yeah.
I think I want. Can you explain crunch part a little bit more? Because I think that part is pretty advanced. And
crunch is just enough. Well, you don't.
Yeah.
You crunch, and as you're going up through the crunch, you just bring the shoulders up and you just drop them down.
So then your crunch is still engaged.
People are not going backwards because again, if they were in this position and we dropped them back, they literally have to crunch to go forward.
So you want them to be crunching the whole time?
I do want. They got to be crunching the whole time.
Active crunch. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So I think I understand now. Because before I was trying, once I did the crunch, I was trying to go back. But
Right. You don't want to do that. Let me show you the other way of doing this.
Okay.
Which is up against a flat wall. So the other way of doing this up against the flat wall is to put your shoulders, get your heels about maybe an inch or two away. Put your upper body against it, and then I got to move this to the side a little bit. And then flatten out your pelvis like we were doing before. Bring this up until it's flat. Okay, from here you can stretch straight up. Again, shoulders go straight up. Drop straight to the outside, and you literally walk away from the wall in perfect position. Does that make sense? So let's try that on you.
Okay. So this is
so you flatten out your pelvis on the wall. So you take your teacup and feet a little closer to the wall. You're not really leaning into it. Okay. So really flatten that pelvis out on the wall.
Okay, so instead of like
this flattens out. So you just pop it right in.
Okay.
So drop that all the way back till it's against the wall. And then from there, bring your shoulders straight up. Keep that flat, as high up as you can. And then just drop them to the outside. Squeeze that beach ball. Chin up to right about here, 45-degree angle. Okay, and then level it out. And then as you walk away from the wall, just take a couple steps forward so he can see it from the side. You see he walks away from the wall in the right position.
I feel like you're walking on air, just kind of feeling a spring.
Right, because you're putting your body in such a mechanically better position, you feel so much lighter during the day.
I think it measures
and you can breathe.
Yeah.
The real key is that when your body's in the right position, you can breathe.
Yeah. Versus like this, right?
Right.
There's no space for the lungs.
Well, when this drops forward, and the shoulders drop forward, and then they try to straighten up like this, they make themselves an upper chest breather. And we've always been told over and over again that we want to breathe into our belly.
Yeah.
And most people don't really know why.
Yeah.
Because we think about it, what are the receptors for oxygen in the lungs?
The diaphragm?
Red blood cells.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and red blood cells are what? Red blood cells are heavy because they have
oxygen.
Iron. Over 2. You're not getting any of these right. And so they're heavy, so the heart's right up here, so the blood enters the lungs here, and due to gravity, it all gets pulled down to the bottom. So 2/3 of your receptors, 2/3 of your red blood cells, they're going to pick up your oxygen are in the bottom. So when you put yourself in this position, you naturally breathe right in to your to the lower part, right onto your diaphragm, and very little goes up top.
Yeah. So is that you're getting 3 times the air? It was each
3
breath.
times the air, and you're getting so much more of the red blood cells.
Yeah, I make it just feel that versus like here, you're only using 1/3.
Right.
No matter what, if I try to breathe all the way to the diaphragm, I just can't. And the stomach just doesn't go, right? But if I'm in the right position, I could get all the air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people go, wow, I've been
I've
been doing your stuff, and it's like I have so much more energy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, it's because you're actually breathing. You're actually getting energy.
Yeah.
And you're also not working so hard, because if you're out in this kind of posture, like most people, walking around like this, you're making these low back muscles work, you're making your neck muscles work, you're making most people end up with these incredibly tight hamstrings because they lock their legs out. The moment you lock your legs out, as you can see, it immediately forces my belly forward. When I tend back and bend it, my stomach goes back, my butt drops under. People just walk around like this all day. Just lock it into position, not realizing that they're literally causing themselves chronic low back problems in the long term.